explain about word formation. The first is part of speech and affixation. Part of speech is a term used traditional grammar for the one of the main category into which words are classified according to their function in sentence. Word types can be divided into 9 parts of speech. First is nouns. Nouns are persons, place, things, or idea. The second is pronoun. Pronouns standing for nouns in a sentence. For the example is I, you, they, we, them, who, which, and anybody. And the third is verbs. Verbs are action words that tell what happens in the sentence. Verbs change form based on the tense, present or past tense, and count disjunction or singular or plural. And the first is adjective. Adjective describe nouns and pronouns. For the example is hot, lazy, funny, beautiful, unique, and poor. And the fifth is adverbs. Adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, and even other adverbs. They specify when, where, how, and why something happened, and to what extent or how often. Example: lazily, only, hopefully, softly, and sometimes. And the sixth is preposition. Preposition shows spatial, temporal, and role relations between a noun and pronoun and the other words in a sentence. For the example is up, over, by, close to, and apart from. And the seventh is conjunction. Conjunction joins word, phrase, and clause in a sentence. For example, and, but, or, so, and yet. And next is article or determine. Article or determiners function like adjective by modifying nouns, but they are different than adjective in that they are necessary from the sentence form. They have the proper syntax. Article and determiners specify and identify nouns, and there are identify and definite article. For example, and the, and for the determiners is this, that, much, which, and what. And the next is interjection. Interjection are expressions that can stand on their own or be contained within sentence. For that, words and phrase often carry strong emotion and covering reaction. For example, wow, wow. And the next is affixation. Affixation is a process of adding of morphem or affix to a word create either different from of the word or new word within different meaning. Then two primary kind of affixation are prefixation, the addition of a prefix, suffix, and additional of. And the first is prefix. Prefix are abundant in English. Prefix include example like an, self, re, and while. For the example is the word happy, and we can include the prefix with an, and they become unhappy, and the meaning is not happy. And the next is suffix. Suffix is a group or letter placed after the root of the word like hood, ink, or less. For the example is flavor, and if we give a suffix less, which flavorless means that having no flavor. And the third is infix. Infix is a type of affix that is placed in the middle of basic shape. For example, cup full become cups full. Spoonful become spoons full. And the next material is word formation. The first is conversion. Conversion is a word formation process that does not change the original form of the word used. The second word formation is blending. Blending, which is the word formation by combining two words and removing some of letters. And the third is compounding. Compounding is combine two words without removing the existing letter from the both of them. For the example of this combination is homework, ham and work. The division of type of word formation according to word patterns. The first is inflection. For this type, you only need to add prefix at the end or suffix with letter S. Sana gives so much chocolates to his mother. The translation means Sana gives a lot of chocolate to his mother. It can be seen clearly in the word gifts and chocolates, but use the suffix S. Second is connage. Connage, the method of word formation with connage is to say word represent the original word. Now for the example is, can you give me a aqua? For the meaning is, can you give me a water? The example of connage is aqua. You can say sunlight and soft text. And the third is clipping. Clipping, the use of clipping method, namely by removing a few letters, usually result in a new word. For the example is influenza. If we give a new word is flu. To produce a new word. The last is acronym. Acronym is a word which is actually an abbreviation of several words. For the example is WHO, WHO. For the World Health Organization. And the additional types of word formation according to some linguistics. The first is derivation. Derivation is the process of forming words by giving an affix to words. For the example is suffix ion is to action, X, and ion. And the second is borrowing. The word formation using this borrowing process is borrowing vocabulary for language other than English. And if in Indonesia, we can borrow from English language like burger, pizza, and the others. And the next is back. Backword formation is a word formation process by separating the affix from the root words. The last is onomatopoeia. The last word by formation process, namely onomatopoeia, is from a sound that represents an object. For the example is, if you say meow, meow is to represent a cat. And the types of word formation according to word class in English. Besides the division of word formation according to the pattern of change, there is also division of type of word formation according to the class of word. The first is verb formation. Verb formation is the formation word into verbs by adding suffix iz and iv to the word by to be converted. For example is synchronize, legalize, modernize, or for the example of sentence is we want to modernize the factory. And the second is adverb formation. It's the formation of word into an adverb by adding the suffix and the end of the word suffix ly. For the example is easy become easily, quick become quickly, beautiful become beautifully, and so on. And the next material is example of affixation. The first is prefix. Prefix are attached to beginning of the root word. For the example, prefix sub. The first is sub plus way become subway. And the second is prefix pre. His meaning as the verb or before pre and order become pre-order. And the second is prefix miss, has meaning as wrong. For the example is miss and understanding become misunderstanding. And the next is prefix re. Re has a meaning once again. For the example, re and play become replay. And the next is prefix co, has meaning of being together or joining. For the example is co and pilot become co-pilot. And the prefix below that I have explained is means no. The first is prefix un plus usual become unusual. In plus correct become incorrect. Ill plus legal become illegal. Ir plus regular become irregular. Im plus possible become impossible. This plus able become disabled. And the second is suffix. Suffixes are attached to the end of the root word. For example, suffixness has meaning of state or condition. Happy plusness, happiness. Dom has meaning of state or condition. Free plus dom become freedom. Able, suffix able can be imperative canine. Comfort plus able become comfortable. And suffix ivy can be interpreted as the quality or something. Effect plus ivy become effective. Suffix y has meaning made of has characteristic. Mood plus y moody. So simulfix. Simulfix is a type of affix that changes one or more existing phenomena, usually vowels, in order to modify the meaning of the morpheme. For the example, man, M-A-N, and M-E-N. Woman with O and woman with E. And next is infection. Infication is a type of affix that can be inserted within or inside a root or stem. For example, cup plus S plus full, cups full. The next is circumfication. Circumfication is the combination of prefix and suffix that attach to a base simultaneously to express single meaning or category. For the example, un plus reason plus able, unreasonable. And the next is reduplication. Is a reduplication morphological process in which is a root or stem or part is repeated. For example, is exact. Baby words are often exact reduplication, but there are other in common prevalence. Bye bye. And the second is rhyming. It is also considered reduplication when the second half of the word rhymes with the first. Boy toy, lovely, lovey-dovey. And the last is ablaut. Is a linguistic term from the word that changed from the shifting of the vowels. For the example is zigzag. Affix can also be divided into two major function categories. First is derivational morpheme. Derivational morpheme from the new word either by changing the meaning of the base to which they are attached. For the example is kind into unkind. There are two kinds of derivational. The first is derivational prefix, and the second is derivational suffix. And the last material is inflectional morpheme. Inflectional morpheme do not change in referring or cognitive meaning and do not change word class to which is attached. the affix to be belong as a plural and also third person, ed as the past tense, ing as progressive, then er as comparative degree, and esd as superlative degree, and the last person as the possessive. Okay, I think enough from my presentation. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.